Hello, everyone. Meghan was delighted that Harry walked into this disaster. Meghan Markle must be absolutely beaming, sitting back with that famous smile of hers, as Prince Harry walks headfirst into yet another royal disaster. It's almost as if she's got a front-row seat to the show, watching as her husband, the former Duke, stumbles into a mess of his own making. With every new misstep and blunder, Meghan seems more delighted than ever, knowing that Harry's latest fiasco only adds fuel to the fire. And who wouldn't enjoy a little drama when it's your partner taking center stage in the world's biggest soap opera? So, what's the latest catastrophe Harry's wandered into? And why is Meghan so thrilled about it? It's possible that some people would argue that there are a number of reasons why Meghan Markle should avoid going to the United Kingdom. She is aware that her popularity has reached an all-time low. Do you agree with this? If you agree with me, comment number 1, and vice versa. If you think Meghan is still very popular, comment number 2, and more significantly, she is aware that there are not a lot of people in this area. It's possible that some people would, if they could see her. The fact that there are always admirers is something that everyone is aware of. On the other hand, her husband, Prince Harry, who was a previous member of the royal family, and is now known as the Duke of Sussex, paid a visit to her recently in order to attend a funeral for a member of her family. To put it simply, this has resulted in yet another huge disaster. Obviously, some people would remark that Prince Harry is a little bit like the skinny one from Laurel and Hardy. This is a legitimate observation. The basic line was that he recently pointed out. Did he not know that? Of course. He and his wife did not feel comfortable within the United Kingdom. Mistake after mistake after mistake. And you know the bottom line? Even going so far as to discuss it publicly once more on an episode of ITV's Tabloid Stories program. You are probably familiar with the show in which he had a conversation with that specific lady, and basically stated that London was so dangerous because he had picked up only one rogue individual. I mean, inviting just one rogue person would be an utter case of insanity. And let me tell you, there are a lot of people like that right now in London, and after the Notting Hill Carnival, we're going to simply leave it at that. However, what is noteworthy is that he is going against the administration of His Father's Majesty in order to ensure complete safety for himself and, more significantly, for his bride, the Duchess of Sussex. Things are going from bad to worse as a result of his actions. The bottom line in a case like this is that you have to really justify truly why you suddenly need so much protection. And they made a complete and utter mistake in their Netflix series because they fabricated all of those paparazzi chasing them. You see, I've told you before that this is the most important thing to keep in mind. They staged the automobile pursuit in New York, and all of a sudden you realize, well, really, are you the kind of person that people notice? Now, earlier this week, as I mentioned, Harry went to a funeral service for a family that was held in Norfolk, which was a very private affair. Now, nobody knew he was coming here, and nobody knew when he left. It was that gracefully done. One might suggest that, of course, if you did not have all of the outriders and flankers from the Metropolitan Police Department, you would not really need all of this security. And this is now what is going to be brought up and used in the upcoming case. As a result of his action, it is extremely difficult, if not impossible, to present his argument and explain why he would require such security. If he is able to enter the nation without being discovered, then why is it that he and his wife are unable to accomplish the same thing? You see, this is the other side of the coin. It's possible that this is due to the fact that certain individuals provide the paparazzi with information prior to their arrival. I am not alleging that this is Meghan Markle for a single second, but somebody does it each and every time they arrive, or at the very least, when she has been back. What is intriguing is that Harry is going to have to justify this really peculiar decision that he made. Obviously, he did it because he wanted to pay his respects to the late Robert Fellows. But in doing so, he's now truthfully exposed the fact that he could go back and forth from his home in California and return to the United Kingdom while staying under the private protection of Scotland Yard and the British Metropolitan Police, with free accommodation in Buckingham Palace. With that being said, their query would be, if you are able to do it once, why are you unable to do it every single time? This is going to be the most significant challenge that Harry will have to face when he goes to the upcoming hearing. Regardless of the outcome, the attorney is going to have a very difficult time. Imagine being Queen Elizabeth, with over 70 years of experience dealing with the highs and lows of public life, the scandals, the betrayals, and the constant scrutiny. Yet nothing could have prepared her for the ultimate sting. Watching her own grandson, Prince Harry, morph into a traitor right before her eyes, a man born into the very heart of the monarchy, now reduced to throwing mud at the family that gave him everything. How deeply painful it must have been for her, seeing him prance around on talk shows, spilling secrets for a paycheck, all the while being led by his wife, Meghan, whose appetite for drama and attention seems absolutely insatiable. And now, look at where they are getting exactly what they deserve. Honestly, how the mighty have fallen. Once the darlings of the public, they are now the objects of disdain and ridicule. Their desperate attempts to stay relevant have backfired spectacularly. With each poorly planned Netflix deal, every embarrassing tell-all, and every tone-deaf podcast episode pushing them further into the abyss of irrelevance. Harry, the once charming spare, is now a tragic figure, following his wife's every move like a lost puppy, alienating the very people who once adored him. And Meg, her carefully crafted image of the brave, misunderstood outsider, has crumbled, exposing her for what she truly is, a ruthless opportunist with a penchant for self-victimization. The public, once sympathetic to their cries for freedom, now sees through their thin veneer of sincerity. Their pleas for privacy are nothing more than a marketing ploy, and their royal victimhood routine has grown stale. But karma has a funny way of catching up. The public has finally had enough of the Sussex circus, and the very audience they courted with such arrogance has turned its back on them. The more they try to claw back favor, the further they slip from grace. Their fall from public favor isn't just a stumble. It's a full-blown nosedive, with no royal safety net to catch them. Exactly. Meghan is a cheap, aging mattress actress, yet Harry was loved, protected, and afforded the best life could offer. And yet he chose instead to follow his base instincts and sell out his entire family pretty much within months of meeting her, and forming a business relationship for what he views as independence, fame, wealth, power, and adoration in his own right, outside the shadow of the brother he describes as his nemesis. If Harry truly needs security, he should start by guarding himself against the one person who's been his greatest threat all along, his own wife, Meghan Markle. She's proven to be far more dangerous to him than any paparazzi, rogue fan, or shadowy figure lurking around the palace gates. How deliciously ironic that Harry, the once golden prince, allowed Meghan to be so shamelessly disrespectful and downright malicious toward his own family, the very people who loved and protected him all his life. And now, like clockwork, she's turned that very venom back on him. You have to wonder, did Harry ever see it coming? As Meghan guided him down the path of freedom, convincing him that life outside the royal cocoon would be one big sun-soaked Californian fairy tale. Did he ever imagine he'd end up the punchline of his own tragic comedy? Maybe he thought he was escaping the royal cage, but in reality, he just walked into another one, this time built by Meghan, with her name in flashing Hollywood lights above the door. Now, isn't it funny, dear Harry? You've swapped one kind of scrutiny for another, one set of rules for an even more suffocating game, Meghan's game. And now, she's playing it so masterfully that even you, the once lovable prince, have become her latest pawn. Did you want freedom? Well, here it is, wrapped up in a new form of captivity, bound not by royal duties, but by the whims of a woman who has proven she's more than willing to use you to climb every social ladder available. And the best part? She's now turning that well-honed skill of disrespect onto you. The world can see it, plain as day. We all saw how Meghan gradually alienated you from your family, whispering in your ear, stoking the fires of your grievances. And now, surprise, surprise, you're finding yourself at the receiving end of her ruthless ambition. She's done it to everyone else. Why should you be any different? Harry. So, please, do enjoy the show. Harry, you've given up a lifetime of privilege, respect, and genuine love for this circus act, so you might as well sit back and take it all in. And don't worry, we'll all be watching, too, popcorn in hand, eagerly awaiting the next twist in this soap opera you've so unwittingly written yourself into. Because, let's face it, the greatest danger to your well-being isn't lurking outside your California mansion. It's sitting right next to you, plotting her next move. Truth. However, if Harry wins the highest level of armed protection that he demands, with all that includes, he will be smiling from ear to ear and celebrating with his vile wife. Before they both go on with their campaign of hate and jealousy, They enjoy the power to cause pain and anguish, and they are not held back by the weight of conscience or concern for anyone but themselves. Well, it looks like Harry cooked his duck, attending the most recent funeral this past week, without all the hoopla about extra British security. His security reality, while in Britain, just took a nosedive. Especially, Harry must stop this claim. He's not a working royal. He has security when he comes to the UK, so all his needs are met. Thank you everyone for watching my video. I know everyone has different opinions and thoughts. Please share with me and everyone in the comments section. Don't forget to support us by liking, sharing, and subscribing to the channel. Goodbye and see you again.